Good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Team Best Trade Academy. We continue our conversation on starting and managing export business. And today we are looking at part 96. Part 96. And we continue the principle we were discussing before. We started discussing the principle of starting and managing export business. And the idea behind discussing the principle basically is to help individuals to be able to understand the fact that if you are going to succeed in export business, sorry, I think I'm making a little mistake here. Wow. Okay, this is supposed to be 96 and this was saying 95. So if you're going to succeed in export business, one thing we must learn to do is to live by principle. And this is not just export business, business generally and life in general. Working and living by principles. And the reason is because experience is peculiar to individual, but principles are universal. So either I'm in Nigeria, in Curaçao, in Algeria, in Buenos Aires, wherever I I find myself, applying principle will always work. The last one we talked about yesterday was the law of successful life. Today we'll continue and we'll talk about the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. You know, physics law of motion, physics laws of motion gave us insight into cause and effect. For example, the first one said everything will continue in a state of rest or a uniform motion on a straight line unless compelled by an external force to act otherwise. Another one said for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. For every action there is equal and opposite reaction. And on this slide, the law of cause and effect. This is the law that the West have mastered, operate with, believe in, that made them to have become great. This is also the law that Africa go against significantly, that also have left us where we are, because instead of thinking of the law of cause and effect and seeing how our action is causing the result we have, what people do is to attribute the challenges they face with different things. So instead of asking the question, what? We ask the question, who? Is it not interesting? You have lost on the transaction. Instead of asking the question, what caused it? What can I do differently? I cannot prevent it from happening. People ask the question, who? Who is the wrong question to ask? Who is a wrong question to ask? Why? Because who suggests that someone caused it? That means you are basically exonerating yourself completely from what could have resulted from your own errors, from your own inadequacies, from your own shortcoming, but you are attributing it to someone else. And the implication of that is it makes it difficult for you to be able to fix, it makes it difficult for you to be able to make progress. The law of cause and effect. So as you do the export business, you have challenges. Always ask the question, what is causing this challenge? What is causing this challenge? How can I fix the challenge? What is causing the challenge? How can I fix the challenge? Rather than saying, who is causing it? Rather than saying, who is causing it? That also have left us where we are, because avoid the question, who, and focus on the question, what? What is causing the problem? What is causing the challenge? What is causing the issue? Now, for us, for Nigeria right now, or Africa in general, we are at an advantage because we now have an African Continental Free Trade Agreement, AFCFTA. AFCFTA gives us an opportunity to be able to trade in Africa together. AFCFTA gives us an opportunity to be able to trade together in Africa duty-free. This is an agreement that have created a free trade area maybe eventually we will move on to other level of economic integration. I know some people are proposing economic union where we have common currency, but currently we have the free trade area in Africa. And I'm happy and excited that Nigeria have eventually signed the free trade area. Now, we should be thinking, how should we take advantage of that? Don't think more of Europe and America again or Asia. Think Africa. Think Africa. How do we take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement on the African soil? Those are the things that should be more important to us right now. So as you think about export, ask the question, what? When you know the what, then ask how. How do I prevent those challenges from happening and repeating itself? Do not push your responsibility to someone else and trying to say, oh, he caused it, she caused it, and because he caused it, she caused it, that's why I'm facing what I'm facing. Whereas those issues, those challenges could have been avoided simply by having some level of knowledge, simply by having some level of understanding, simply by knowing exactly what to do. And that will make it a lot easier for you to be able to ensure that at the end of the day, you have a fantastic, interesting, and awesome transaction. Please always think of what and how, and stop thinking of who caused it. Even if your staff is the one that caused it, even if someone has caused it, you could have prevented it if you put control in place. But if you can identify what has caused it, is it my inefficiencies? Is it my deficiency? Is it my ignorance? Is it my lack of understanding? What exactly has caused the challenge I'm faced with? And if I'm able to identify what is causing the challenge I'm faced with, it becomes very easy for me to be able to fix the problem. But you know what? If I keep shying away from my responsibility and keep saying so and so caused it, such and such is the one that is making me to incur losses, I won't think and do what I mean to do. I would rather be looking to that person. For example, when I left banking and started export business, the first project we did was a disaster. But look back now and fast forward into 9 years outside banking, it's now an history. We've been able to find a way around those problems. We could have said, oh, of course someone caused it. Of course, but it was ignorance. We could have put control in place to prevent that from happening, but we did not put that control in place. So saying someone caused this is not the problem. We could have prevented it from happening, but we're unable to because of lack of capacity. But that did not make us to run away, but to continue to find a solution and fix the solution and move on. And today is now history. At least we can do it in a lot better way. What I'm basically saying is that at the end of the day, it will become very, very difficult for anyone. If the person keeps thinking that someone is the one causing his problem, the back is locked. So it's so important and it's so interesting for the challenges we are faced with today, that people are faced with challenges in their business, faced with challenges in whatever it is they do, and push back and say someone else is the one causing it. What am I basically saying? I'm basically saying that everyone should take responsibility for the challenge they are faced with in whatever it is that they do. So it's so important, very, very important. The law of cause and effect basically says that if something has happened, something caused it. Don't look for who caused it. Look for how to solve it. Don't look for who caused it. Look for how to solve it. Don't look for who has caused it. Look for how to solve it. Don't look for who has caused it. Look for how to solve it. It's so critical for us because as in export business in Africa, we have a lot of challenges. But because we've also not, sometimes we even blame government. Not to exonerate government from what government should do. I'm not disputing the fact that government is not doing enough in Africa, and that's a fact. But in spite of that, foreigners are coming into Africa and able to do well. Because foreigners don't think of government when they come. They have come to do business. So either the government do what it's supposed to do or not, that will not be a problem. I remember very well during the financial crisis that Nigeria faced, economic recession. Do you know that why Nigerians are complaining and blaming government for the issue? A foreigner was being interviewed and was saying what he did. The major problem of importer then was that they were unable to get forex. And you know what this importer did? He started looking for what to export to his country. And he started exporting that item to his country. And you know what happened afterwards? He was generating his own foreign exchange himself. And he was able to import his product himself without depending on CBN for foreign exchange. Why a lot of Nigerians are complaining and blaming the government? The foreigner, no, he cannot blame the government. He can't go to government for incentive. He came here to do business. He found solution to his challenges. He found solution to his challenges. Within a short time, he was able to overcome that challenge. Why some people are still blaming and blaming and blaming and blaming and blaming someone for the inadequacy. Like I said, this is not to exonerate government for what government is supposed to do for the people. I'm only saying, if the government has shied away from its responsibility, you should find a way to fix your challenges and be able to move on. Find a way to fix your challenges and be able to move on. The law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. The next one is the law of accident. The law of cause and effect. Every decision you make comes with a reward or consequences. I forgot to mention, I was just explaining. Every decision you make comes with a reward or consequences. Not taking decision is also a decision. Indecision is a decision. Not doing something about that situation is a decision. Not taking decision is a decision. Indecision is a decision. Indecision is a decision. And that decision you take has a consequence or reward. So take the right decision and then you can avoid the consequences and enjoy the reward. The law of accident says everything left to chance without plan of action and definite decision will result in an accident. If you leave the business to chance, if there are anticipated risks, which you should have noted as a result of learning, if you have learned well enough, you will be able to anticipate the risk. If there are anticipated risks, if there are anticipated risks, if there are anticipated risks, you should design a mitigant or mitigants to be able to mitigate them and prevent them from crystallizing. The law of accident says if you leave the business to chance, it's like driving a car. You know, now we have autonomous cars, but the autonomous cars have artificial intelligence. It has sensor. If you're going to hit something, it's going to stop. If a car is coming ahead, if you get to a junction, if a car is coming, it's going to stop. It has sensor. So for a car being driven by a human, the eye of the human is the sensor to seize a danger, to see collision and avoid it. These have sensor which serve as the eye to control it. Why did they put the sensor? Everything left to chance. Every business moving left to chance. Individual moving left to chance. Car moving left to chance. As long as that thing is in motion and is left to chance, is bound to incur and to crash. Everything left to chance without plan of action and definite decision will result in accident. Everything left to chance, without plan of action, everything left to chance, without plan of action, without definite decision, will result in an accident. What is it that you have left to chance? Many people leave the business to chance. In fact, some leave it in the hand of someone else, believing that that someone else is going to take decision on their behalf. How on earth will you leave the lifeline of your business in the hand of someone else? And that is very common in my country, Nigeria. Someone is trying to do export. He want to stay in the city, doesn't want to go into the bush. Because many people likely do commodity, agro-commodity. So he's going to give someone money to undo some of this critical area of the business on his behalf. And you know what? The person eventually hit a rock. And then he wants to blame someone for it. But he has the opportunity to prevent it from happening, but never did. But believe that he can trust someone who will do the job for him. And sometimes, some of the people they trust are not trustworthy. Some of the people they trust are not trustworthy. And because those people are not trustworthy, what happened? The people take advantage of them, sometimes mess up the business and mess up the transaction for them. Don't leave your business to chance, and don't leave it in the hand of a bad driver. Don't leave your export business to chance. Don't leave your business to chance. Don't leave it in the hand of the poor of bad driver. If you are going to put a driver in charge, you should know the capacity of the driver. You should train the driver. You should also have a way of monitoring the driver. In Nigeria, people leave their business to chance by giving it to an individual who is not they themselves, number one, are not competent. So they give it to someone, because they are not competent, they are not able to spot those that are not competent. So they give it to the hand of someone who is supposed to help them drive it. And the person they gave it into the hand to drive it does not even understand or know exactly how to go about it. And because it does not understand or know how to go about it, what happened? It crashed the business. So you should, number one, acquire knowledge about the business. Having acquired the knowledge about the business, train the people and find a way of monitoring them if you are not on ground. Even when you are on ground, you are supposed to supervise. Talk less of when you are not on ground. Because even when you are on ground, they can still mess you up. Do not leave your business to chance. Do not allow the law of accident to take toll on your business. Make conscious and deliberate effort to be the driver of the export business yourself as an SME. Make conscious and deliberate effort to hire a competent hand if it's a big company. For example, if you are in Nigeria, we have what is called the Executive Diploma in Export Business Management and the Executive Diploma in Export Trade Finance. This is done in conjunction with the American Institute of Extended Studies to equip export manager with the skill they need to be able to make their export business a success. So the idea is to equip export manager to be able to have the skill to make their export business a success. So the question then therefore is, the person you are hiring, how competent are they? Do they have any certification? Or is the blind leading the blind? And if the blind lead the blind, the greatest teacher says both of them will fall into the ditch. Both of them will fall into the ditch. Accident is bound to occur because the business is being left to chance. Accident is bound to occur because the business is being left to chance. Do not leave your business 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 to chance. If you leave it to chance, it's going to crash. If it crash, you will lose money. If you lose money, that might be the end of that business. If business generally in Nigeria and Africa is challenging, export business is challenging ×2 or ×3. Because you are dealing with someone in another country you probably do not know. You are dealing with someone in another country you probably do not know. And that means the person can actually defraud. That means you must put mitigant in place to prevent any unscrupulous element along the chain of your export business, along the process of your export business, to take advantage of you. Remember, export is a process and not a transaction. Export is a process and not a transaction. The last law I will talk about this morning is called the law of opportunity. Remember, we are discussing starting and managing export business, and we are looking at principles to provide solutions to the challenges of export business in Nigeria, in Africa, and indeed other parts of the world. And we have looked at different laws. The last law I will look at today is the law principle number 25, the law of opportunity. You know, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement has just been signed. For some people, they are already trading in West Africa. They have positioned themselves. Now they are extending beyond West Africa to other parts of Africa. Some people will see them as being lucky. Some people will see them as being lucky. Not that they are lucky, because now they are going to be the first mover to take advantage of that export to Africa. Not that they are lucky, they just prepare, an opportunity shows up. When preparation meets opportunity, the person he claims is said to be lucky. When he says someone is lucky, it's simply preparation meeting opportunity. When you say that someone is lucky, it is simply preparation meeting opportunities. When you say that someone is lucky, he is prepared, an opportunity shows up. Luck, L-U-C-K, laboring under correct knowledge, the right knowledge. Laboring under correct knowledge. So when someone is lucky, that means he was prepared. He had the correct knowledge. He labored based on that correct knowledge. And when the opportunity that he foresee and prepare for showed up, he takes advantage of it. And people say, the guy is just lucky. The lady is just lucky. He wasn't lucky. He was just prepared for the opportunity that showed up. He was just prepared for the opportunity that showed up. What preparation are you making to take advantage or advantages of opportunity? What preparation are you making to take advantage or advantages of opportunity? Tell me, what level of preparation are you making? Tell me, what kind of preparation are you making to take advantage or advantages of opportunity? What level, what kind of preparation are you doing to take advantage or advantages of opportunities? If you are not taking advantages of opportunities, you are not preparing. Are you taking advantages of opportunities? Tell me. Are you taking advantages of opportunities by preparing? Preparing as if there is an opportunity right now. The opportunity will actually show up in future. That's why it's said the future belongs to the prepared mind. Some people are living in the future. They're always thinking ahead. Because either we like to know the future will catch up with us one day. I can likewise just prepare for it. Especially when I have insight, information as to how So for those that are already thinking of Africa and doing stuff with Africa, they have an advantage now to take over other parts of Africa within a short time. They have built strategy. They've used that strategy to take advantage of the environment. What effort are you making? Are you taking to take advantage? What effort are you making to take advantage of the opportunities that the African Continental Free Trade Agreements has brought to Nigeria? This is an opportunity for Africa to grow its GDP, opportunity to boost trade, business in Africa, opportunity to increase employment in Africa, opportunity to create jobs in Africa, opportunity to create wealth in Africa. The question is, are you going to be part of it? What effort is being made? How prepared are you? It's not yet too late. You can still do something about it. Thank you very much for listening this morning. My name is Dela Yimiba. This Import-Export platform, Facebook Live from 3 Think Trade Academy. We come up every day, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day at work. Remember to visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/3thinkpest.tv. Like our videos, share our videos, comment, click the notification bell, and like the video. Thank you very much, and bye for now.